We're going to take a look at the overall rankings now before we head down to the GWM Pro in Sydney. Out in front is the young lad, as we've seen, Mikey Madonna from Lennox. He'll be super stoked, and all his supporters, as Ronnie said, they should get down there, get right behind this young man. If he can get out of Australia with a few big results, we know how strong he is through the rest of the year and the events that suit him really well. And then there's a couple of really good names in there that we're not really used to seeing at the top end of the draw. It's Josh Burke for me. It's a real standout flick.
There's so many names. And I look at even, 5th and 9th there, Dakota and Oscar Berry. I mean, they really impressed me. This event, especially Dakota, first year on the Challenger Series, comes out with a quarterfinal finish and just blew me away with just not only how he was surfing, but just the decisions he was making in heats as well. Just surfing beyond his years, really mature.
Yeah, absolutely. And the challenge now is to stay on that page.
Yeah.
You got to keep that consistency going, keep the results coming in. For Mikey, this would have been his pet event. He would have eyed this off and gone, I need a good result here, so he's converted. I think on the women's side, Erin's probably a little bit more versatile and looking at all the breaks going, I could win them all.
Yeah.
She was ecstatic to be heading down to Narrabeen.
Yes.
She said her warm-up for Snapper was Fiji, so watch out for her in Narrabeen.
Totally.
We're going to take a look at the women's ranking now, and as we mentioned earlier, the women's qualifying series is competitive. All of these women, as you mentioned, that come off the tour are pretty much all in the quarters, so therefore it does not make the results at the top end a little more condensed, so I wouldn't necessarily say the same thing. A quarters might be your 5th result. You're really looking to get semis onwards, and for Sally, Isabella, Luana, and obviously Erin, they've had a really good day at the office.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking good up the top of the list there, but there are so many capable and well-established surfers in this list right here.
There are so many, and it's crazy, right? I mean, we had surfers last year on the Challenger Series. Bronte McCauley, who got a 5th year this year, she won an event and she still didn't qualify. I've said it so many times, I sound like a broken record, but honestly, you need to be getting semi-finals or better. And it's just so tight, and there's just so many women that surf so well, but CTs were the absolute standouts during this event. 4
of the top 5 of the women there, all ex-World Championship Tour surfers. Erin's the lone newcomer there.
It's a pretty common theme that carries out through the women. It's generally 1 or 2 new names that really break through every year, so we'll keep a close eye on that as we move down to Sydney and North Narrabeen. To be specific, beautiful part of the world. Rich, you spent a lot of time in this part of the world, and obviously a local to this area. What have we got to look forward to here? This is Isabella Nichols on her run last year, Rich.
Yeah, this was finals day, and this huge south swell turned up, and generally North Narrabeen doesn't really connect with the south swell, but it was big enough that it was breaking on the outside bank, and there were some big sections to hit there. Isabella Nichols doing incredibly well down there to get the win, and sort of started her run into the Challenger Series last year.
I think another surfer to watch down there will no doubt be Jacob Wilcox. There's another spot that just fired up. Even the locals were caught by surprise here. The car park right, absolutely firing. I mean, it looked more like Snapper than Snapper last year. So it was, great to see these competitors making good use of the whole sandbar there. And I think, one thing for Jacob, consistency for him was one thing that he unlocked last year. He placed 2nd, and I know that after a 9th here, he'll be looking to do the same thing again, if not go one better.
Yeah, I'd say so. And you know what? We heard him say in one of his post-heat interviews, you know what? The Challenger Series or the Changers is where I feel at home. I've been there for 10 years. I feel well and truly comfortable there. And last year, he really showed it. I mean, it's just such a shame he didn't make that card. I just feel like his surfing really suits the CT. We've said it so much, but I think he's going to do great continuing with that momentum going down to Sydney.
Yeah, absolutely. I did have a little quick look at the long-range forecast. Looking all right.
Looks all right,
yeah,
doesn't
we've
it?
got plenty of east swell, which is, that's great swell direction for North Narrabeen. That left will really open up and offer some great opportunities.
It's been an amazing week here on the Gold Coast. Loved having everyone in town and ripping Snapper to pieces, and excited to see how Sydney unfolds.